Hello and welcome back to EFL USA. I'm Sophia, and if today is your very first time here, let me tell you exactly what we do on this channel. We teach real English for real life in America. Not textbook English, not exam English, but the exact words you need the moment you actually need them. And today, I want you to try something with me before we even start. Close your eyes for 1 second. Imagine you are standing at a checkout counter. The cashier just charged you twice for the same item. The line behind you is getting longer. The store is closing in 10 minutes. Could you say what you need to say right now in English without stopping to translate in your head? If your answer is, I'm not sure, you are exactly where you need to be today, because this lesson is built for exactly that moment. Today's lesson is part of our English for Shopping and Daily Errands series, and I promise you something very specific. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to speak up when something goes wrong at a store, when you're overcharged, when you don't have a receipt, when something is out of stock, when you need a refund or an exchange, and when the clock is against you. These are not rare situations. These happen to real people every single day, in every single city in America. And most English lessons never prepare you for them. They teach you, how are you? Nice to meet you. Soft, safe, easy sentences. But they never teach you what to say when your money, your time, and your patience are all on the line at the same moment. That changes today. Before we begin, if this is helpful to you, please subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a new survival English lesson. Now, take a breath, get comfortable, and let's start. I want to introduce you to someone. Her name is Maria. Maria moved to the United States 8 months ago. Her English is growing every day, but she still feels nervous in situations that move fast, situations where people expect an instant answer. Today, Maria is going to a large grocery and home store near her apartment because she needs a few things before the weekend. Some kitchen supplies, a few groceries, and a small lamp for her bedroom that was on sale last week. She has 30 minutes before the store closes, and she has somewhere else to be right after. This is a normal day. This is a normal errand. But normal days are exactly when English mistakes can turn into real problems. And today, Maria is about to find that out. Listen to how her evening begins. I am walking into the store, and I already feel a small clock ticking in my head. 30 minutes to buy everything I need, find the sale item I want, and get through checkout before closing time. Now, shadow this with me. I am walking into the store. I feel a small clock ticking. 30 minutes to buy everything. I need to move quickly and speak clearly. This small phrase, a clock ticking, is something Americans say all the time when they are in a hurry. And now it belongs to you too. Maria walks through the aisles quickly. She finds her groceries first. Some rice, some vegetables, a few cans of soup. Then she goes searching for the lamp, the one that was on sale last week for $12. She finds the shelf where it should be, but the shelf is empty. Listen to what she says to herself. "I've found the shelf, but the lamp isn't here. It's out of stock. I need to ask someone before I waste more time looking." Now shadow it. "I found the shelf. The lamp isn't here. It's out of stock. I need to ask someone." This phrase, "out of stock," is one of the most useful phrases in all of shopping English, and you will hear it constantly in American stores. Maria finds an employee nearby, restocking a different shelf. She takes a small breath and asks her first question of the night. Listen closely to this real, natural exchange. "Excuse me, I'm looking for a small lamp. It was on the shelf last week, on sale. Do you have any more in the back?" The employee answers, "Let me check for you. What was the price on it?" Maria says, "I think it was $12 on the yellow sale tag." Now, shadow this conversation with me, piece by piece. "Excuse me, I'm looking for a small lamp. Do you have any more in the back? Let me check for you. It was on the yellow sale tag." These are exactly the words real employees and real customers use in this situation every single day, in every single store in America. While the employee goes to check, I want to slow down and teach you the first vocabulary set of today's lesson, because these 5 words and phrases are going to appear again and again in Maria's story tonight, and you need them fully in your mouth before we continue. The first word is receipt. Listen. Receipt. Now, repeat after me. Receipt. A receipt is the small piece of paper the store gives you after you pay, showing what you bought and how much you paid. Here is an example sentence. "Can I have my receipt, please?" Here is a second example. "I lost my receipt, so I can't return this item." Now, you say one sentence using the word receipt. Take a moment and say it out loud, even quietly. The second word is refund. Listen. Refund. Repeat after me. Refund. A refund means the store gives your money back for something you return. Here is an example. "I would like a refund for this item, please." Here is a second example. "The store gave me a full refund because the product was broken." Now, you say one sentence using the word refund. The third word is exchange. Listen. Exchange. Repeat after me. Exchange. An exchange means you return one item and take a different one instead, usually the same price. Here is an example. "Can I exchange this shirt for a bigger size?" Here is a second example. "I want to exchange this lamp for a different color." Now, you say one sentence using the word exchange. The fourth phrase is price tag. Listen. Price tag. Repeat after me. Price tag. A price tag is the small paper or sticker on a product that shows how much it costs. Here is an example. The price tag says $15, but the register charged me $20. Here is a second example. I always check the price tag before I put something in my cart. Now, you say one sentence using the phrase price tag. The fifth word is cashier. Listen. Cashier. Repeat after me. Cashier. A cashier is the person who works at the checkout counter and takes your payment. Here is an example. I explained the problem to the cashier. Here is a second example. The cashier was very kind and helped me quickly. Now, you say one sentence using the word cashier. Let's put these 5 words together in one small story so your brain sees exactly how they connect in real conversation. Listen to this. I checked the price tag before I bought the lamp. When I got to the register, the cashier charged me the wrong price. I asked her to check my receipt, and she agreed to fix it and offer me a refund for the difference. Now, shadow this entire short story with me slowly. I checked the price tag. The cashier charged me the wrong price. I asked her to check my receipt. She offered me a refund for the difference. Feel how naturally these 5 words move together in one real situation. This is exactly how they will appear again very soon in Maria's story. Now, let's go back to Maria, because right after this vocabulary moment, something happens that she did not expect. The employee returns from the back room, and she has good news and bad news. Listen, I found one more lamp in the back, but I have to warn you. The sale might have ended today. Let me walk you to the register, and we'll figure out the price together. Maria feels a small wave of nervousness because she really wanted that $12 price, and she doesn't want to argue with anyone, but she also doesn't want to pay full price if the sale sign is still posted on the shelf. Now, shadow this feeling with me. I feel a small wave of nervousness. I don't want to argue. I don't want to pay the wrong price either. This is exactly the emotional in-between moment that most English lessons skip completely, but it is the moment where real fluency matters most. Maria walks to the register with the employee. She sees the checkout line and the cashier. Working there, looks a little tired, moving quickly because the store is closing soon. Listen to this small scene-setting moment. The line at checkout was short, but everyone looked like they were in a hurry, glancing at the clock, wanting to finish before closing time. Now shadow it. The line was short. Everyone was in a hurry. Everyone was glancing at the clock. This kind of everyone feels the same pressure I do. Observation is very natural in spoken English, and it helps you sound less like you are translating and more like you are simply noticing the world around you. Maria reaches the cashier. She places her items on the counter. The rice, the vegetables, the soup cans, and the lamp. The cashier begins scanning everything. Listen to the natural rhythm of this checkout conversation. Hi, how are you tonight? Did you find everything okay? Maria answers. Yes, thank you. I did have a question about this lamp, though. The shelf tag says it was $12 on sale. The cashier scans it, and the screen shows $18. Now, shadow this exchange slowly. Hi, how are you tonight? Did you find everything okay? Yes, thank you. I have a question about this item. The shelf tag said a different price. This exact phrase, the shelf tag The shelf tag said a different price is one of the single most useful sentences you can learn for shopping in America, because price mistakes happen more often than people realize. And knowing how to say this calmly, without sounding angry, is a real, practical survival skill. Here is where Maria's real test begins. The cashier looks at the screen, a little confused herself, and says, "I'm showing $18 here. Are you sure it was 12?" This is the exact moment where many English learners freeze, not because they don't know the words, but because they feel embarrassed, they feel unsure, and their mind goes blank under a small amount of pressure. But Maria takes a breath, and she remembers something simple. She doesn't need perfect grammar, she just needs to be clear. Listen to what she says next. "Yes, I'm sure. The tag on the shelf, the yellow sales sticker, said $12. I can show you where it is, if that helps." Now, shadow this with me, piece by piece, because this sentence structure is gold for you. "I'm sure. The tag said $12. I can show you where it is, if that helps." Notice something important here. Maria didn't say, "You are wrong," and she didn't argue. She simply gave clear information and offered a simple solution. This tone, calm, clear, cooperative, is exactly the tone that works best in American customer service situations, and it is a tone you can absolutely learn even at a beginner level, because it depends more on your sentence choice than on advanced grammar. The cashier nods and calls over a manager using a small radio at her register, saying simply, "Price check on register 4, please," while they wait, and Maria can feel the people behind her in line getting a little restless. I want to teach you our second vocabulary set, because this is exactly the moment where these next 5 words become essential. The first phrase is checkout. Listen. Checkout. Repeat after me. Checkout. Checkout is the place or process where you pay for your items before leaving the store. Example: the line at checkout was really long tonight. Second example: I always check the price before I get to checkout. Now, you say one sentence using the word checkout. The second word is aisle. Listen. Aisle. Repeat after me. Aisle. An aisle is the long, narrow path between shelves inside a store. Example: the lamps are in aisle 7, next to the home goods. Second example: I walk down every aisle looking for that product. Now, you say one sentence using the word aisle. The third phrase is on sale. Listen. On sale. Repeat after me. On sale. When something is on sale, it means the price is temporarily lower than normal. Example: this lamp was on sale for $12 last week. Second example: I only buy certain things when they are on sale. Now, you say one sentence using the phrase on sale. The fourth word is discount. Listen. Discount. Repeat after me. Discount. A discount is the amount of money taken off the original price. Example: I received a 10% discount because of the sale. Second example: can you apply the discount that was on the shelf tag? Now you say one sentence using the word discount. The fifth word is coupon. Listen, coupon. Repeat after me. Coupon. A coupon is a small piece of paper or a digital code that gives you a discount on a specific product. Example, I had a coupon for $2 off this item. Second example, does this coupon work on sale items too? Now, use Slay's one sentence using the word coupon. Let's connect these 5 words in one short, natural story, the same way we did before. Listen, I walked down the aisle and saw a lamp that was on sale. I didn't have a coupon, but I still expected the discount price at checkout. Now, shadow it with me. I walked down the aisle. I saw a lamp on sale. I didn't have a coupon. I still expected the discount at checkout. This is exactly the vocabulary Maria needs right now, in this exact moment, standing at Register 4, waiting. The manager arrives a minute later. She's friendly, but clearly busy, glancing at the clock because closing time is getting close. She looks at the lamp, looks at the register screen, and says, Can you show me where you saw that price? Maria points toward the aisle and says, calmly, It's in aisle 7, on the shelf right under the lamps. There's a yellow sign. The manager nods and says, Okay, let me walk over and check quickly. Now, this is a small but very real moment of tension because Maria has to wait. The line behind her is growing a little, and she doesn't know yet if she was right or wrong about the price. Listen to how she handles the waiting silently in her mind. I feel a little embarrassed with people waiting behind me, but I remind myself that checking a price honestly isn't something to be embarrassed about. It's completely normal. Now, shadow this thought with me. I feel a little embarrassed. But checking a price isn't something to be embarrassed about. It's completely normal. This inner voice, calm, reasonable, self-forgiving, is something I want you to build in your own English thinking, because confidence in a foreign language often starts exactly here, in these small private thoughts, before you even speak out loud. The manager returns 2 minutes later and she's smiling now. You were right, she says. The sales sign is still up. It just wasn't updated in the system yet. I'm really sorry about that. Let me fix the price for you. Maria feels a wave of relief. Listen to this emotional shift. I feel relief wash over me. I was right, and now the price will be fixed, and I didn't even have to raise my voice or get upset. Now shadow it. I feel relief. I was right. I didn't have to raise my voice. This matters more than you think, because a huge part of real-life English isn't about winning an argument. It's about solving a problem while staying calm, polite, and clear, and that is a skill you are building right now, sentence by sentence, with me. The manager tells the cashier to adjust the price manually, and while she's doing that, the manager asks Maria a follow-up question that catches her a little off guard. Would you like a refund on the difference if you'd already paid? Or should I just fix it before you pay? Maria hasn't paid yet, so the answer is simple. But I want you to notice something. This is exactly the kind of unexpected follow-up question that real conversations include, the kind that textbooks almost never prepare you for. Listen to Maria's answer. "Oh, I haven't paid yet, so if you can just fix the price now, that would be perfect. Thank you so much for checking. Now, shadow it with me. I haven't paid yet. If you can fix the price now, that would be perfect. Thank you for checking." Simple, clear, polite, and completely effective. The cashier adjusts the price, and the total on the screen drops. Maria feels the small clock in her head slow down a little, because now the hard part is over, and only the payment is left. But, and this is important, the story isn't finished yet, because right after this, Maria realizes something else, something that will introduce our third vocabulary. Set and push this lesson even deeper into real survival territory. We'll get to exactly what happens next in just a moment, but first, let's slow down and lock in everything you've learned so far, because repetition is what turns new words into instant reactions. Let's do a quick shadowing review round before we continue the story. I'm going to say a sentence, and I want you to shadow it immediately, out loud if you can. Ready? The shelf tag said a different price. Now you. I'd like to speak to a manager about the price, please. Now you. Can I have my receipt when you're done? Now you. Is this item on sale, or is that an old sign? Now you. I don't have a coupon, but I still want the discount price. Now you. Feel how these sentences are starting to come out a little faster, a little more naturally, with less thinking, time between hearing and saying. That small gap closing is exactly what fluency feels like while it's forming. Not a sudden jump, but a slow, steady tightening between the moment you hear something and the moment you can say it back. Now, back to Maria. Just as the cashier finishes ringing up the corrected price and Maria reaches for her wallet, she hears the cashier say something that makes her stomach tighten just slightly. Okay, that'll be $19.40. Will that be cash or on your card? This sounds like a simple question, and normally it is. But Maria suddenly remembers something. She left her wallet's cash section almost empty this morning. And she's not sure her card will work here, because 2 days ago, her bank sent her a message about a new card being mailed, and she isn't 100% sure which card is currently active. This is a real moment of quiet panic, the kind every immigrant, every traveler, every English learner living abroad has felt at least once. Standing at a register, holding a card, hoping it works, while a small line waits behind you. Listen to Maria's internal thought in this moment. My heart beats a little faster. I'm not completely sure this card will work, but I don't want to say that out loud and hold up the line even more. I decide to just try it calmly and have a plan ready if it doesn't. Now, shadow this with me. My heart beats a little faster. I'm not completely sure this will work. I decide to try it calmly. Having a plan ready is one of the most powerful things you can do in any stressful English situation. Not perfect grammar, not a big vocabulary, just a plan and calm. Maria says to the cashier, "I'll try my card first, please." She taps her card on the small reader. There's a short pause, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and then a small red message appears on the screen. Listen to this tense little moment. The screen showed a message, "Card declined. Please try again or use another payment method." Maria feels her face get warm. Now shadow it. "Card declined. Please try again." My face feels warm. This is exactly the kind of situation that no textbook prepares you for. But it happens constantly. In every country, to every kind of person, and knowing exactly what to say in the next 10 seconds can turn a stressful moment into a completely normal, forgettable one. The cashier looks at Maria kindly and says, "No worries, it happens all the time. Do you want to try again or use a different card?" This is such an important sentence for you to learn because American cashiers say some version of this constantly, and it's meant to make you feel better, not worse. Listen again. No worries. It happens all the time. Do you want to try again? Or use a different card? Now, shadow it. No worries. It happens all the time. Do you want to try again? Or use a different card? Feel how casual and kind this sounds. This is not an accusation. It's simply a normal part of American customer service language. And recognizing that tone helps you respond calmly instead of anxiously. Maria checks her wallet and finds a second card, an older one she rarely uses, but knows should still be active. She says, "Let me try this one instead." Now, shadow it. "Let me try this one instead." She taps the second card. This time, a small green check mark appears, and the receipt printer begins printing immediately. Listen to her relief. The little printer sound felt like the best sound in the world right then. My payment worked, and I could finally breathe normally again. Now, shadow it. The payment worked. I could finally breathe normally again. This emotional roller coaster, worry, embarrassment, relief, happens in English, speaking daily life constantly. And every single piece of it is something you can now describe. In English, because of the vocabulary we've just practiced together, the cashier hands Maria her receipt and says, "Have a good night." Have a good night. Thanks for your patience with that price thing. Maria smiles and says, "Thank you, you too. Have a good night." Now, shadow this closing exchange. Have a good night. Thanks for your patience. Thank you, you too. Have a good night. Simple, warm, human. The kind of small exchange that happens millions of times a day across America, and now it belongs completely to you. But Maria's evening at the store is not quite finished. Because as she's walking toward the exit with her bags, she suddenly remembers something important. Something from three days ago that is about to introduce our third and final vocabulary. block of tonight's lesson and push this story into its final, most important stretch. She stops walking for a second, looks down at her bag, and says quietly to herself, "Wait! I still need to return that other lamp." 3 days ago, before tonight's shopping trip, Maria had bought a different lamp from this same store, a taller one, for her living room. But when she got home and plugged it in, the switch was broken. It wouldn't turn on at all. She had planned to bring it back tonight for a return, but with everything happening at the register, she'd almost completely forgotten. Now, standing near the exit with the store closing, in just 8 minutes, she has one more conversation ahead of her, and this one might be the hardest of the night, because this time she doesn't have her receipt for that item. It's sitting on her kitchen counter, at home, forgotten in the rush to leave the apartment. Listen to this new wave of nervous energy. I completely forgot the receipt for the broken lamp. I know stores usually need it for a return, and I'm not sure what will happen without it. But I also know the store is closing soon, and if I don't ask now, I might have to come back another day and carry this heavy box again. Now, shadow this with me. I forgot the receipt. Stores usually need it for a return. The store is closing soon. I need to ask now. Maria walks quickly toward the customer service desk near the front of the store. Her bag, with groceries in one hand, the heavy, broken lamp box tucked under her other arm. She can see the desk from a distance. A young man standing behind it, already starting to organize papers, glancing at the clock on the wall above him. The store's closing announcement plays softly overhead. Attention, shoppers. Our store will be closing in 7 minutes. Please bring your final purchases to the front. Maria's heart picks up its pace. Again. She reaches the desk slightly out of breath and sets the box down gently. Listen to this moment of first contact. "Hi, I'm so sorry. I know you're about to close. I bought this lamp a few days ago, and the switch doesn't work at all. I'd like to return it, but I think I left my receipt at home." Now, shadow this with me, slowly, piece by piece. "Hi, I'm sorry. I know you're about to close. I bought this a few days ago. The switch doesn't work. I think I left my receipt at home." Notice something important here. Maria didn't hide the problem or make excuses. She said it clearly, calmly, and honestly, right at the beginning. This is one of the most valuable communication habits you can build in English. State the problem simply first, before anything else, because it saves time and it shows respect for the other person's schedule, especially in a moment like this one, so close to closing time. The young man at the desk, whose name tag says Diego, looks at the box, then looks up at Maria with an understanding expression. "Okay, no problem. Let's see what we can do. Do you remember roughly what day you bought it or how you paid?" Sometimes I can look it up in the system, even without the paper receipt. Maria feels a small spark of hope. Listen to this hopeful shift in her thinking. Maybe this isn't going to be as difficult as I feared. Maybe there's another way, even without the receipt in my hand. Now, Shadow it. Maybe this won't be difficult. Maybe there's another way. This small mental shift from fear to possibility happens constantly in real English conversations. And learning to notice it and describe it makes your inner experience of speaking English feel much lighter. This is exactly the moment to introduce our third vocabulary block of tonight's lesson, because every single word in this next group is about to appear directly in the conversation between Maria and Diego. Let's slow down and build this vocabulary carefully, the same way we did before. The first phrase is customer service. Listen. Customer service. Repeat after me. Customer service. Customer service is the department or desk in a store that helps you with problems, returns, refunds, and questions after you've already made a purchase. Here is an example sentence. I went to customer service because my lamp was broken. Here is a second example. Customer service was very helpful and solved my problem quickly. Now, you say one sentence using the phrase customer service. The second word is register. Listen. Register. Repeat after me. Register. In a store, a register is the machine and the record system where purchases and payments are recorded and stored. Here is an example. Even without my receipt, he checked the register for my purchase. Here is a second example. The cashier looked in the register history to find my card payment. Now, you say one sentence using the word register. The third phrase is return policy. Listen, return policy. Repeat after me. Return policy. A return policy is the store's official rule about how, when, and under what conditions you can return or exchange something you bought. Here is an example. What's your return policy without a receipt? Here is a second example. Their return policy allows exchanges within 30 days. Now, you say one sentence using the phrase return policy. The fourth phrase is expiration date. Listen, expiration date. Repeat after me. Expiration date. An expiration date is the last date. Something is valid or usable. This can apply to food, but also to return windows, warranties, and coupons. Here is an example. There's usually an expiration date on how long you have to return something. Here is a second example. Please check the expiration date before you buy the milk. Now, you say one sentence using the phrase expiration date. The fifth phrase is in cash or by card. Listen, in cash, by card. Repeat after me. In cash, by card. This tells a cashier or employee how you paid or how you would like a refund to be given back to you. Here is an example. I paid in cash, so I'm not sure how the refund will work. Here is a second example. If you paid by card, we can usually refund it directly to that card. Now, you say one sentence using either phrase, in cash or by card. Let's connect all 5 of these words and phrases into one short natural story before we go back to Maria and Diego, the same way we've done twice already tonight. Listen carefully. I went to customer service because the item was broken. The employee checked the register and found my purchase from the payment history, even without my paper receipt. He explained the return policy, told me there was no expiration date issue, since I was still within 30 days, and asked whether I had paid in cash or by card so he could process the refund correctly. Now, shadow this entire short story with me, slowly, sentence by sentence. I went to customer service. He checked the register. He explained the return policy. There was no expiration date issue. He asked if I paid in cash or by card. Feel how naturally this connects. This is almost word for word what is about to happen between Maria and Diego right now, in real time. Back at the desk, Diego turns his monitor slightly and starts typing. Can you tell me the card you used? Or your name on the account if you have a rewards card with us? Maria answers, I don't have a rewards card, but I did pay by card, not cash. It should have been 3 days ago in the evening. Diego nods and continues typing. Listen to this small waiting moment again. Because waiting and describing waiting is such an important part of real spoken English. I watch him scroll through a screen full of transactions, hoping my purchase will be somewhere in there. The seconds feel longer than usual because the store is about to close. Now, shadow it. I watch him scroll through the screen. I hope my purchase is there. The seconds feel longer than usual. After a moment, Diego's face lights up slightly. Found it. Okay, this matches. A lamp 3 days ago on this card ending in the same 4 numbers you told me. That's good. That confirms your purchase even without the paper receipt. Maria feels a wave of relief. Wash over her for the second time tonight. Listen to it. Relief again. This time bigger, because I was really worried I might have to bring this whole box home again and come back another day. Now, shadow it. Relief again. This time bigger. I was worried I'd have to come back another day. But then, Diego says something that introduces a small new complication. And this is important because real conversations rarely resolve in one single clean step. They usually have a small twist right near the end, and knowing how to handle that twist calmly is exactly what separates someone who freezes in English from someone who simply keeps the conversation moving. Nez. Listen to what he says. So here's the thing. Our return policy for electronics normally requires the original receipt for a full cash refund. Since I found your purchase in the register but don't have the paper receipt, I can offer you store credit instead of a refund back to your card, or I can exchange it directly for a working lamp of the same model if we have one in stock. Which would work better for you? This is exactly the kind of real, slightly complicated, decision-based question that English learners almost never get to practice. A moment where you have to understand 2 or 3 different options quickly and choose one in real time without translating everything word by word first. Let's slow this down together. Diego offered Maria 3 real choices. Option 1, store credit, which means money you can only use inside that specific store, not cash in your hand and not money back on your card. Option 2, a direct exchange, meaning she trades the broken lamp for a new, working one of the exact same model, no money involved at all. Option 3, which he didn't say directly, but which Maria could still ask about. Checking if a refund to her card was possible another way. Listen to Maria thinking this through out loud, quietly. The way many people naturally process decisions in a foreign language, speaking softly to themselves to organize their thoughts. Store credit or an exchange. An exchange might actually be easier since I still need a working lamp anyway. I don't have to make a complicated decision. I just need the lamp to work. Now, shadow this thinking process with me. Store credit or an exchange. An exchange might be easier. I still need a working lamp anyway. I don't need to overthink this. Maria looks up at Diego and says, "Actually, an exchange sounds perfect if you have another one in stock. I really just need a working lamp, so that would solve everything." Now, shadow this response with me, because this exact sentence structure. Stating your decision clearly, then briefly explaining why, is incredibly useful in almost any negotiation or decision-making conversation in English. An exchange sounds perfect. If you have another one in stock, I just need a working lamp. That would solve everything. Diego checks his system one more time and nods. Good news, we actually have one left in aisle 7, the same spot where you probably got the first one. Let me grab it for you real quick before we lock the doors. He steps away from the desk, moving quickly, and Maria stands there for a moment, alone, catching her breath after everything that has happened tonight. The price mistake at the register, the declined card, and now this returns conversation. All within about 20 minutes. This is a perfect moment to slow down again and do another shadowing review round, locking in the vocabulary from this third block before we move into tonight's final high-speed practice section. I'll say a sentence. You shadow it immediately, out loud if you can. Ready? I went to customer service about a broken item. Now you. Can you check the register for my purchase? Now you. What's your return policy without a receipt? Now you. Is there an expiration date on returns here? Now you. I paid by card, not in cash. Now you. Feel that? These sentences are coming faster now, more naturally, with less hesitation between hearing them and repeating them. That tightening gap is exactly what real progress feels like while it's happening. Quiet, steady, almost invisible in the moment, but very real over time. Diego returns a minute later, carrying a fresh, sealed box with the same lamp model inside. Here you go. Already checked. This one works fine. I tested the switch before I brought it over. Maria smiles, genuinely relieved. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you checking that and for helping so quickly right before closing. Diego smiles back. Of course. That's what we're here for. Do you need a bag for that? Or are you okay carrying it as is? Maria says, I'm okay carrying it. Thank you. Now, shadow this final small exchange. Thank you for checking. I appreciate you helping so quickly. Do you need a bag? I'm okay carrying it. Thank you. Diego hands her a small printed slip confirming the exchange in case anything comes up later, and says, "Have a good night, and sorry again about the mix-up with the first one." Maria replies, "No worries at all. This was actually really easy. Have a good night." Now, shadow this closing moment one more time. No worries at all. This was actually really easy. Have a good night. Notice, again, how warm and simple these closing exchanges are. This is the natural rhythm of American customer service conversations. And by now, tonight, this rhythm is starting to live inside you, too. Maria walks out of the store just as an employee begins locking the second set of doors behind her. Outside, the evening air feels cool against her face, and she lets out a long, slow breath. The kind of breath that comes after a small stretch of real life pressure finally releases. Listen to this closing reflection moment. I made it. I fixed the price mistake. I handled the declined card without panicking, and I even solved a return without my receipt. 20 minutes ago, I wasn't sure I could do any of that smoothly in English. And now, walking to my car, I actually feel proud of myself. Now, shadow this reflection slowly, gently. I made it. I fixed the price mistake. I handled the declined card. I solved a return without my receipt. I feel proud of myself. This is exactly the emotional core of tonight's lesson, and I want you to really sit with it for 1 second. Maria didn't need perfect English tonight. She needed clear English, calm English, and a handful of the exact right words at exactly the right moments. The same words and phrases you have been shadowing with me for the last 20 minutes. And now it's time to take everything you've learned tonight and turn it into something even faster, even more automatic, because understanding words in a story is one skill, but pulling them out instantly, under real pressure, is a different skill entirely, and that's exactly what we're going to build together right now. This next section is what I call rapid response training, and it works like this. I'm going to give you a small number of sentence frames, the exact patterns Maria used tonight, and then I'm going to give you many quick variations, one right after another, fast, with almost no explanation in between. Your only job is to listen and respond immediately, the way you would need to in a real store under real-time pressure. This builds something textbooks almost never build. Instant reflexes in English, instead of slow, careful, translated sentences. Our first frame is, "Can I?" This is used to politely ask for permission or to ask if something is possible. Listen to the base pattern. "Can I have my receipt, please?" Now, listen to 5 fast variations and try to shadow each one the moment you hear it. "Can I get a refund for this?" "Can I speak to a manager, please?" "Can I exchange this for a different size?" "Can I use this coupon on a sale item?" Can I pay by card instead of cash? Feel that rhythm. Short, clear, useful in almost any store, any counter, any moment you need something quickly. Our second frame is I need, which is direct, clear, and perfect for urgent or simple situations. Listen to the base pattern. I need to return this item. Now, 5 fast variations. I need a bag for these groceries. I need help finding the checkout. I need to speak to customer service. I need this exchanged for a working one. I need my card refunded instead of store credit. Shadow each one immediately as you hear it. Don't wait. Don't think too long. Just respond the way your mouth is starting to learn to respond tonight. Our third frame is where is essential for navigating any store quickly, especially when time is short. Listen to the base pattern. Where is the customer service desk? Now, 5 fast variations. Where is aisle 7? Where is the checkout line? Where is the manager right now? Where is the return counter? Where is the sales section? Notice how short these are. 3 or 4 words, and yet they solve an entire problem instantly, the moment you say them out loud to the right person. Our fourth and final frame is how much does perfect for price questions, discounts, and comparing costs quickly. Listen to the base pattern. How much does this cost with the discount? Now 5 fast variations. How much does the refund come to? How much does this cost without the coupon? How much does shipping add to the price? How much does the exchange cost, if anything? How much does store credit expire in value, or does it stay the same? Shadow each one immediately, letting your mouth move even faster than your mind wants to translate. Let's combine all 4 frames into one final rapid round, mixing them together the way real conversations actually mix question types without warning. Listen and shadow immediately, one after another, no pause for explanation. Can I get a refund for this? Where is customer service? How much does this cost with the discount? I need to speak to a manager. Can I exchange this for a working one? Where is the sales section? I need my receipt, please. How much does the refund come to? Can I pay by card instead? Where is aisle 7? Feel your reaction time. How much faster you responded at the end of that round compared to the beginning. That tiny difference, multiplied by daily practice, is exactly how real fluency gets built, one rapid round at a time. Before we close tonight's lesson completely, I want to give you one more, slightly longer, connected passage. A final full shadowing round that pulls together almost everything from tonight's story so your brain can practice moving smoothly between calm narration and quick, urgent dialogue, the same way real conversations actually flow. Listen to the whole passage first. I walked into the store with 30 minutes before closing. I found the price on the shelf. Tag was different from what the register showed, so I asked to speak with someone, and they fixed it calmly. My card was declined at first, but I tried a second card, and it worked. Then I remembered I still needed to return a broken lamp, but I'd left my receipt at home. Customer service checked the register, found my purchase, and offered me an exchange instead of a refund. I said yes, and they gave me a working lamp before the doors closed. Now, shadow this entire passage with me, slowly, piece by piece, exactly the way we've been practicing all night. I walked in with 30 minutes left. The price on the tag was different. I asked calmly, and they fixed it. My card was declined, but the second one worked. I remembered the broken lamp. I'd left my receipt at home. Customer service checked the register. They offered an exchange instead of a refund. I said yes. I got a working lamp before closing. Welcome back to this final stretch of tonight's practice. And I want you to notice something before we continue. Your voice already feels a little steadier, repeating that last passage, than it did at the very beginning of tonight's lesson. That's not an accident. That's exactly what consistent shadowing does, minute by minute, sentence by sentence. Now, I want to give you one more real-life extension of Maria's evening, because true fluency isn't only built inside one single scene. It's built by seeing the same words appear again, in a slightly different situation, until your brain stops treating them as new vocabulary and starts treating them as simply words I know. So let's follow Maria just a little further into the parking lot and then into a phone call later that night, because tonight's lesson wouldn't be complete without showing you how these same tools carry over into a completely different moment. Maria reaches her car, sets both bags carefully in the back seat, and places the new lamp box gently on top so it won't get crushed. She sits in the driver's seat for a moment before starting the engine, just breathing, letting her shoulders relax after 20 minutes of fast, high-pressure English. Listen to this quiet reflection. I sit here for a second before driving, just letting myself relax. Tonight reminded me that I don't need every sentence to be perfect. I just need to be clear and calm and willing to speak up. Now, shadow it gently with me. I sit here for a second. I let myself relax. I don't need every sentence to be perfect. I just need to be clear and calm and willing to speak up. Later that night, after putting her groceries away and setting up the new lamp in her living room, Maria realizes something else. She never actually got a written confirmation email for the exchange. And she wants one for her records, just in case the lamp has any problems in the future. So she decides to call the store's customer service line before they close for the night administratively, even though the physical doors are already locked. This gives us the perfect opportunity to layer in one more real-life skill tonight. Phone English briefly as a bonus, because so much of American daily life moves between in-person and phone conversations within the same hour. Listen to how the call begins. The phone rings twice, and then a recorded voice says, "Thank you for calling. Your call is important to us. Please hold for the next available representative. Maria waits, and after about a minute, a real person picks up. Hi, thanks for holding. This is customer service. How can I help you tonight? Maria takes a breath and says, Hi, I was just in the store about an hour ago and exchanged a broken lamp. I just wanted to check if there's a confirmation email I should have received for my records. Now, shadow this opening carefully. Thanks for holding. How can I help you tonight? I was in the store about an hour ago. I exchanged a broken lamp. I wanted to check about a confirmation email. The representative says, Sure. Let me pull that up. Can I get the phone number or the card you used for that exchange? Maria gives her phone number, and after a short pause, the representative confirms, Yes, I see it right here. The exchange for the lamp went through successfully, no charge, and I can send that confirmation to your email right now if you'd like. Maria answers, Yes, please. That would be great, thank you. Now, shadow this exchange. Can I get the phone number you used? I see it right here. I can send a confirmation to your email. Yes, please. That would be great. This small phone call, short, simple, almost forgettable, is actually a perfect example of something important. Once you have the core vocabulary and the core confidence from tonight's lesson, you can carry it into completely new situations, phone calls, different stores, different employees, because you're not memorizing one single conversation. You're building a flexible toolkit of real, reusable English. Now, let's slow all the way back down and do a full, complete review of every single vocabulary, word, and phrase we learned tonight. Because before we close, I want every one of these 15 words sitting comfortably and permanently in your memory, not just floating loosely from earlier in the lesson. From our first vocabulary block, receipt, refund, exchange, price tag, and cashier. Listen once more and shadow each word immediately as I say it. Receipt, refund, exchange, price tag, cashier. Now, one more time, a little faster. Receipt, refund, exchange, price tag, cashier. From our second vocabulary block, checkout, aisle, on sale, discount, and coupon. Listen and shadow. Checkout, easel, on sale, discount, coupon. One more time, faster. Checkout, easel, on sale, discount, coupon. From our third vocabulary block, customer service, register, return policy, expiration date, and in cash or by card. Listen and shadow. Customer service, register, return policy, expiration date, in cash, by card. One more time, faster. Customer service, register, return policy, expiration date, in cash, by card. Now, let's do one final, combined rapid round, mixing vocabulary from all three together with our 4 sentence frames from earlier. Can I need, where is, and how much does. So your brain practices pulling from the entire lesson at once, the same way real conversations pull from everything you know, without warning, without organization, all mixed together. No, Listen and shadow immediately, one after another. Can I speak to someone at customer service? Where is the checkout line? I need a refund, not store credit. How much does this cost without the coupon? Can I check the return policy for this? Where is the sales section, please? I need my receipt for this purchase. How much does the exchange cost? Can I pay by card at the register? Where is aisle 7? Feel that. By now, these questions are coming out of your mouth with almost no hesitation, almost no translation gap between hearing and speaking. That is real, measurable progress built in about 30 minutes through story, emotion, real pressure, and repetition. Not through memorizing a list, but through living inside a real situation with Maria again and again, until the words simply became yours. Before we finish completely tonight, I want to leave you with one more small but important piece of advice, something that goes beyond vocabulary. Notice that in every single moment of tonight's story, the price mistake, the declined card, the missing receipt, Maria never once needed a long, complicated sentence. She needed short, clear, honest sentences, said calmly. That is the real secret behind survival English. It is not about sounding impressive. It is about being understood quickly, clearly, and confidently, especially in moments when time, money, or patience are limited. Every single sentence you shadowed tonight followed that same pattern: short, clear, direct, polite. And that pattern is something you can now carry into your own real shopping trips, your own real checkout lines, your own real returns and exchanges here in America. Think about what this means for your own life. Next time you're standing at a register and something looks wrong on the screen, you won't freeze. You'll simply say, I think there's a mistake with the price. Calmly, clearly, the same way Maria did tonight. Next time your card is declined in front of a line of strangers, you won't feel your whole body tighten with embarrassment. You'll simply say, no problem. Let me try another card. Because you already know from practicing tonight exactly how naturally and casually Americans treat this small, common moment. And next time you need to return something without a receipt, you won't panic and give up. You'll walk to customer service and say, clearly, I don't have my receipt, but I paid by card. Could you check the register for my purchase? Because that exact sentence is now living inside you, ready, whenever you need it. This is what real, practical, survival-level English actually looks like. Not perfect grammar, not a giant vocabulary, just the right words at the right moment, said with calm confidence. Exactly what you've been building with me for the last 30 minutes, sentence by sentence, shadow by shadow. Thank you so much for practicing with me tonight. I'm genuinely proud of the effort you've put into this lesson. Staying with a real story, a real problem, a real emotional roller coaster, from a price mistake to a declined card to a missing receipt. all the way through to a calm, successful resolution. That takes real focus, and you showed up for all of it. If this lesson helped you, please subscribe to EFL USA and turn on notifications so you never miss the next survival English lesson in this series. Next time, we're going to step into a completely different real-life situation, a job interview, where the stakes and the pressure are even higher and where the right words at the right moment can quite literally change your future here in America. I'll see you there. Until then, remember this. Fluency isn't built in one perfect sentence. It's built exactly the way we built it tonight. One honest, clear, calm sentence at a time, inside a real situation when it actually matters. Take care of yourself. Keep practicing a little every day, and I'll talk to you very soon.